From some point on, my mother had been living with an illness in silence. We first went to the hospital because of my father's health, but the results were nothing like we expected. My father was fine. Instead, it was my mother who was diagnosed with cancer. Living in the countryside, my parents were overwhelmed with worry, and suddenly, my mother was placed on an operating table. On the day of the surgery, visits were not allowed. 2 days later, I finally saw her in the intensive care unit. The moment I saw her, I collapsed inside. The tears would not stop. Years earlier, I had undergone surgery for kidney stones. Complications followed. My kidneys were affected, and I was diagnosed with an inflammation level of 87%. I spent nearly 40 days in the hospital, enduring relentless high fever. So I know what pain feels like. I know how deeply it can break a person. Perhaps that is why, when I saw my mother lying there, I could not say a single word. I just stood there, crying endlessly. The doctor told us the surgery was successful. However, the tumor was quite large. We had to perform open surgery instead of robotic surgery and remove about 30 centimeters of the colon. But that was only the beginning of another chapter of suffering for my mother. She was someone who rarely ever said she was in pain. Even when a stray cat once severely bit her finger, she never complained. And yet, even while barely conscious from anesthesia, she kept repeating like a child, "Itur." Her body was wrapped in thick bandages, and every time the doctors disinfected her wounds during rounds, it was almost unbearable to watch. It was the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Hospital access was strictly controlled, and only one family member was allowed to visit. We endured each day like that. Then one day, I received an urgent call from my older sister. There seems to be a problem with the area they said was successfully operated on. In that instant, it felt as if time had stopped. We were about to face another reality. This story will continue in the next episode. What really happened to my mother? I will see you in the next story. This video includes real archival photos, along with some AI reconstructed images to more vividly convey memories and the atmosphere of the time. Subscribe and turn on notifications to continue this emotional journey with us. This post was translated and prepared with the assistance of AI, so the author, who is not fluent in English, can share this story with a wider world. While expressions may differ across languages, the memories and emotions remain sincere and true.